Hello and welcome to Boomer 11 Live once again. And here we are to talk about India's squad announcement. The Indian team for the T20 World Cup is announced. So we're going to be discussing on the team. We're going to be talking about what are the possible hits and misses, who should have been in the team, who really missed out, who was hard done, etc., in depth. But before we get into that, do not forget to check out our one-on-one contest on Telegram. I'd urge all of you to check it out because this is your opportunity. Because there you can win up to 10,000 rupees and 500 dirhams playing on one-on-one contest with Boomer 11. So why waste time? Get on our Telegram, text us, join the one-on-one contest, and win big with Boomer 11 this IPL. So yeah, I mean, let's get into today's video. It's about the T20 World Cup and the squad announcement. We'll also talk about our personal squads, what could have been ideally been there, but I think we are way too late. But as I mentioned, there's still time till 25th to give you a final squad. It's very rare that the team changes by then unless there's an injury in the back end of the IPL, that you might see this team only go through. But yeah, I have Jaren joining me. Jaren, how are you feeling, and what did you make of the team to start off with?
Yeah, Bill, I'm feeling really good because I saw today's match, and as a CSK fan, it's never too sad to see Mumbai Indians, go through a downfall. So even though LSG winning is a bit difficult for CSK, but it's okay. It's on the expense of our favorite loud fans in the blue. But I'm doing great, yeah. But just talking about the team, I think not many surprises. I have to say one thing though, I'm a little chuffed about the fact that you have probably entrusted your finishing abilities on Hardik Pandya and Shivam Dubey. And you've
Yeah.
really not looked at maybe. I just feel like Rinku Singh deserves a pick. If you're not going for a Dinesh Karthik, at least a Rinku Singh, because I still believe this team will struggle towards the end overs because they don't seem like they have a designated finisher yet in that lineup.
So I think we can bring the team on the screen now to see how this team looks like because, as you see, also the greatest IPL cap of Pandya got out for zero. Speak on that. Yeah, tonight we just saw India's captain, vice captain, and India's number four in combination scored 15 big runs. That's certainly good news for India if you're an Indian fan. Indian captain has been in some great terrific form. Deserving selection at the end of the day. When your Indian captain has got zero T20 World Cup credentials and zero credentials in the IPL to be getting that captaincy post, well, I like to question no one for this. And also Hardik Pandya, who has had a terrific IPL getting the vice captaincy position. Also, credits to BCCI for trusting them and for believing in Hardik Pandya's potential, which we might see at the end of his career. And also Surya Kumar Yadav, who has been terribly out of form, also getting the nod ahead as India's number one T20I batter. So yeah, we'll talk about all these kind of things in India's squad. India's produced possibly the most informed players of this IPL. If you have to make an out of form 11 of IPL, at least 5-6 people from this 11 will definitely feature. And they are India's 15 for the World Cup for sure. Either ways, we will talk about it. Rohit Sharma captain, Virat Kohli, Sanju Samson, the big news, Akshar Patel, Arshdeep Singh, Hardik Pandya, Surya Kumar Yadav, Shivam Dubey, uh, Ravindra Jadeja, and we have then we have Kuldeep Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah, Yuzi Chahal, and Mohammad Siraj. So India have gone with four spinners, which include Akshar, Jadeja, Kuldeep, and Chahal, and three pace bowlers, including Hardik Pandya, four. So that's four pacers and three spinners. And we've gone with Virat Kohli, Yashasvi Jaiswal as the opening choices alongside Rohit Sharma. What did you make of this team, Jaren? Uh, just looking at it from the face of it, looks like a good team which can win the World Cup, or yet another Indian squad.
I think in many ways this team can win the World Cup, but I'll have to tell you something already. I think you can't play. I mean, how do I say this now? I think Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma might have to open the batting. I just feel that's the only way you can include them in the team. Playing Virat Kohli number three just feels like that's going to destroy this team's flexibility a lot. That's the first thing I feel. Secondly, the finisher role, right? Finisher role, I just feel that's something that's going to be lacking. Now, you're looking at Jadeja and Shivam Dubey and Hardik Pandya to be your finishers. Now, I think Shivam Dubey has good records in the last 5 overs, but only because when he bats for Chennai, he comes into bat by the 10th over or the 12th over, right? I don't think I've seen him come below that, only except for that one match where he came in a little below that. I think it was against LSG itself where he came in and he scored those runs. It was a good innings, but still believe he's a batter who needs to come in that spin hit. There's a time when spinners are ripe for the harvest. That's one thing again I feel where finishing role is a huge doubt here, right? India is
Yeah,
stacked in the middle overs. Just feel like who's going to be a finisher. You probably need a Sanju Samson to bat long if he gets a chance to play in the 11, which again I'm a bit doubtful because if they hadn't gone with the Yashasvi Jaiswal, I just feel like now Rohit Sharma, Yashasvi Jaiswal opens the batting. Virat Kohli comes in number 3, then Suryakumar Yadav. Then I think that kind of puts Samson out, and then probably Pant might come in. So I
uh-huh.
just believe that's where the death overs is going to be an issue for India with the ball as well, right? I think Arshdeep Singh and Bumrah are the ones who are going to take care of that. But again, that really doesn't give you a lot of confidence because Arshdeep Singh has been on and off.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know, man. For some reason, I don't know what is Yashasvi Jaiswal's role in this team even now. Is he going to be India's opener or is he going to be India's backup opener? See, I think we have made our own teams before this squad was being announced, and we're going to display that on the screen right now. Maybe then we can see how much does it differ from the team which has been announced as well. We've had our own selections, but I think I'll bring Jayan's squad up first. Sandipani is not here, so we'll bring your squad up first. This was your team, right, for the
Yeah,
T20 World Cup, and how much. Yeah, just Google Rishabh Pant's T20 stats. Don't Google it. Yesterday's innings against KKR was a good enough indication why he shouldn't be even there in the vicinity of India's starting 11. But either ways, I'm seeing I have zero hopes on this team. This is possibly the worst T20 lineup I've seen in a long, long while. But either ways, we'll talk about it. Virat, not your lineup I'm talking about, but that squad which has been
yeah,
announced.
it's all
Virat,
right.
Rohit Sharma, Samson, Suryakumar Yadav, Hardik Pandya, Shivam Dubey, Ravindra Jadeja, Kuldeep Yadav, Mohammad Siraj, just with Bumrah, Ashdeep Singh. I think my team is the same, literally. I think we don't have a lot of
Yeah, I
difference.
think just a bit of positioning here and there. And I think you've got Avesh Khan in your reserves, and I don't have Avesh Khan. I have,
Yeah. I think the
I don't know.
difference of the Indian team today is that they've added Akshar Patel instead of Avish Khan and Yashasvi
Yeah,
Jaiswal instead of Tinku Singh. But our
yeah,
starting lineup is literally the same.
yeah.
So why did I come to this consensus or why did I come to this particular theory of this lineup was if
I think we
Virat Kohli
both
comes
can
in
pretty
at
talk about the same team now. Yeah,
yeah, obviously. So I think the reason why I came to the same lineup
yeah,
which you have chosen is I don't think we have to debate because our lineups are literally the same. So the only reason why I came to this is I think if Virat Kohli bats at number 3, our batting lineup goes for a toss. And considering how T20 cricket
exactly.
works, you need a Shivam Dubey in your team. And in order to play Shivam Dubey, you need to play Virat Kohli at the opening stand. And you can play Sanju Samson at 3, Surya at 4, Shivam Dubey at 5. That gives a decent amount of depth to your batting lineup because tomorrow, if they're going to attack you with a Keshav Maharaj, or for that matter with a Mitch Santner in one of those Super 8 or semi finals, you need answers for it. You need a spin basher. And I don't see there's a better spin basher than, Shivam Dubey in the
Samson,
country
yeah.
and even Sanju Samson for that matter. And these both together can take them down. Rishabh Pant, yes, he can hit the ball coming into him, but the ball going away from him, he's struggling. I mean, let's be honest. Yesterday, the kind of knock he played, it looked like agriculture to me. I mean, let's be honest. That was just disgusting knock. He can't be my number one choice in the World Cup. He doesn't give me any confidence whatsoever. And KL Rahul never gave me any confidence, anyways. So for me, if you are picking up a T20 World Cup squad, it should be Sanju Samson as your first choice wicketkeeper batter, batting at 3. As you see on the starting lineup, that was the team which was made way before the World Cup team was announced. So yeah, Sanju Samson at 3, Surya Kumar at 4, Shivam Dubey at 5, Hardik at 6. I don't mind Hardik and Jadeja finishing, but for me, I would like to tinker a little bit. I'll go with Akshar Patel at 7 and Jadeja out of the team.
I think I'll agree with that because just yesterday's innings, right? And I know Akshay Patel didn't play that well, like probably as well as you would want him to play. But I think it gave me a lot more confidence in Jadeja's batting because he felt seemed like he was holding his own against the pace bowling, against the spinners as well. I know he got dismissed early, like I said, but then with the ball, he kept Delhi in the game for a long time in that game. He took very important wickets yesterday. I think he got the first 2 wickets, 3 wickets that fell. So he kept them in the team, and I just felt like compared to Jadeja, he's going. I mean, he's going on a better form, and I just feel like Jadeja doesn't do well in the first few matches. I think he's got some 7 odd games to play. If he doesn't do well in the first 2 3 matches, you might see Akshay Patel come in, even in the India score that BCCI has
Yeah.
published. But aside from that, also the reason why I went with the team able is because I just feel Hardik Pandya, Sanju Samson, and Shivam Dubey, right? They're coming at three. Sorry, Surya Kumar Yadav. So it's 3-4, three for Sanju, then four Surya, five Hardik, six Dubey, and then seven Dinesh Karthik. I just feel I won't have to rely on Jadeja's batting as much. If the with the kind of squad that I create, I think you've gone with a similar squad as well. So in
Yeah.
that squad, in that 11, you won't have to rely on Jadeja's finishing. You just have to rely on Jadeja's ability to choke the batting, which is done well in this IPL. I mean, that you'll have to give credit to him for. His bowling has been decent. I think for Chennai, even in the previous game, you saw him ball well in that overs, choke the team out, and then from there on, the team did struggle and couldn't really get going. So that he can do, and I believe that if Dinesh Karthik is in the team, I didn't have to really rely on Jadeja's batting, and then Jadeja comes in as a measure when I really had a bad start. So I think that would have helped them out. But now that onus is really on Jadeja and Hardik. Like Teju
Okay.
has said, pretty much 2021 and 2022 that we attempted to go with. And we've seen that it doesn't work all the time because both the batters sometimes tend to get stuck.
I agree. I think we can look at different aspects as well. Why India should be playing Rishabh Pant, or why India should be playing Sanju Samson ahead of Rishabh Pant as well. Because we can look at some stats to talk about it. Because that's the only way we can, decipher as to, who are the better run getters in the middle overs. That's a right way to look into things. And also, when we talk about the wicket keeping position, that was the most debated point, in today's game. And also, why should Virat Kohli open? I think we have to answer a few questions. Let's start off with the wicket keeping thing. I think when you look at the wicket keeping thing,
There's a
uh,
middle overs thing, I think.
yeah, there's a middle overs thing, obviously. So if you look at that, you know, if you just look at the runs and the strike rate, Rishabh Pant is a decent clip there. Rishabh Pant has done well. Rishabh Pant has, he's got a shout for those middle over runs, but at the same time, let's be honest, Rishabh Pant has not given me the confidence. To he can be the one. If you look at Sanju Samson as well, Sanju Samson is also part of that list. Sanju Samson has also done similarly like Rishabh Pant. I
But
think at a better strike rate.
he's got an average of 100 able, if you notice there, and
Yeah.
a strike rate of 150 plus. I mean, that's pretty much a reason why he should be up there. And I think another thing is, I mean, obviously Rishabh Pant, I know he's been on and off, right? You've seen some innings where you're like, okay, this lad is back, and then there are some innings where you feel like he's still yet to be there. Like, I believe he's not the kind of batter who's going to help you, construct an innings when the team is down, when the team is down and out. But I think if you've done well and he needs to keep the ante up, I think he can do a decent job. If you ask him to go out there and if you're getting out, get out, then I don't think he would mind. But if you ask him to construct an innings, it happened twice to him, right? When both the times Delhi kind of fell apart, he just didn't seem like he was able to bring the team up. It was a small counter punch that he did, and then he just gets stuck and he never gets going anywhere. And sometimes you feel like him getting out is better for the team than him staying there. So that is a big issue. But I think for Sanju, it's been the complete opposite. We've seen him construct an innings. We've seen him go out there and continue the ante from where Yashasvi and Josh Butler left it. So we've seen both sides of it in this IPL. That's why I believe he should be picked ahead. But will he be picked ahead? I doubt.
I agree. And for me, I personally think, Rishabh Pant. Okay, he brings in a lot as a player when it comes to, his wicket keeping skills, when it comes to his left-handedness in the middle overs. These things are very important. There's no disagreeing to that fact. But for me, it doesn't give me confidence. If India has to build a team which is a more power pack team, and I think that there is no other way other than you looking at someone like Shivam Dubey as your
I think
possible number five.
even that's why the reason why, right, I had Rishabh Pant in my team in the reserves is because I was like, you've got a Dinesh Karthik, got a Sanju Samson in the squad that I proposed. And in then
Yeah,
that sense, you don't really need Rishabh Pant as much, and you only need him in case of an injury. And he's easily the third best wicket keeper in this IPL, or the fourth
yeah,
best if you consider Dhoni.
yeah. For me, Rishabh Pant, though he's amongst the runs, I think he's getting some kind of a ticket, green pass because he's Rishabh Pant. He's gotten a green pass for name. If you look at his T20 record, it's as bad as Sanju Samson's, and his IPL record doesn't give me. People look at the impact, and people just look at the name at this point, not even at the
Yeah,
impact. Rishabh Pant's impact is nothing compared to what Sanju Samson's impact is, and that's why I think we look at the number of runs scored in the death overs as well, and that's why we talk about Shivam Dubey. because Shivam Dubey is a very, very important factor in this particular video, what you see right now. Even Rishabh Pant is part of it, but Shivam Dubey, especially because of what he brings into the table right now. If you look, Shivam Dubey is a vital, vital player for Chennai Super Kings. And one of the reasons why we've been talking about why Shivam Dubey should also be there, see, he's been striking at a good clip, and at the same time, he's been very consistent. Coming in at number 5, taking the team over the line, getting those 20 runs above par all the time. That's exactly what India needs. And on a bad day, Shanmuga can also chip in with the ball. It's not bad to go in with 7 bowling options
Yeah.
because 6 is luxury, I agree, but 5 is never the thing. You need 6 as a necessity, and 7 is a luxury, I would say, obviously, because if you have 7 bowling options as a captain, you feel a lot more relieved, you know what to do. And having Shivam Dubey who can bat, who can ball, that's the right way to go, in
And I
my
think
opinion.
that graphics is also the reason why you would say Dinesh Karthik is so hard done. It's
Yeah,
42
Teji,
strike
that's
rate with
my
a 10,
point as well.
with
You should not play
210.
left hand quota because of Pant. You can play Shivam Dubey there.
No, why
Left
not
hand
Rinku
quota.
Singh? If
I
that's
mean,
really what you want, why not Rinku Singh then?
no, I don't know if because of he's a
I
wicketkeeper
think
batter, you picked anyways Pant.
Rinku
Okay, fine.
Singh,
Rinku is not part of the team, but for
yeah,
me, see, Rinku doesn't really fit into the scheme of things, even in my team, because
no,
okay, he's a finisher, great. He's a good pace hitter who can be coming in at number 6, number 7.
hmm,
At this IPL, him playing for KKR has not really done him a world of good because
that has been the issue. That's been the
KKR has
major issue.
really destroyed his chance of even
I
making it
think
to 2.
a lot of these players have been destroyed. Their chance have been destroyed because of the impact player rule. Because, like, for
Yeah,
example, Rinku would have been batting there if there was not an availability of an extra batter. Now they
yeah, I
don't have
agree.
to worry about Rinku batting there because an extra batter bats ahead of him. In this case,
Yeah,
Venkatesh Iyer. If that was not the case, you probably wouldn't see a Venkatesh Iyer in the team. You probably would have seen Rinku Singh come there.
I agree. So, my point, that's the thing. And if you are looking at a left-hander, then you should go for Shivam Dubey. And
Yeah.
that's the reason why we are put in this team, which is more likely a balanced team. And there is no reason why you should be saying, okay, yeah, you know what, this is not a good team because Rishabh Pant is not there. For all the people who are like licking on Rishabh Pant, let me be very honest with you guys. Are you guys out of your mind? Like literally, I'm being very honest with you. What are you licking on? Is a test player who won as a GABA match? Agreed, is a fantastic test player. But we're talking about a format which is not excelled, and you expect him to come in number 5 and save you games. I'm so sorry, but I don't see him there. I don't see him save games for India at number 5 in T20I cricket. And I'm so sorry, if you want to maximize the most out of any player, it's Sanju Samson at 3, Surya Kumar Yadav at 4, which you would like to bat, and Shivam Dubey at 5, and Hardik Pandya at 6. And ideally, I would like Ravindra Jadeja to start off with, but Akshar Patel if he doesn't do well. So Ravindra Jadeja will have to pull his socks up. Otherwise, I don't see India crossing the Super 8. I'm so sorry about that because, you know, we
No, I
have to be
mean,
very.
look at some of the other teams. Like if you look at the South African squad, the Australian squad, the English squad, you feel like the Indian squad is not as strong on paper,
No, we are
especially
not.
post the IPL.
We're not top 4. Even New Zealand, we're way behind New Zealand as well. So we are
Yeah,
we are
even
in
New
top.
Zealand. Sorry, yeah.
We're in top
And
6.
you have to consider able that South Africa is also playing with two. I think South Africa have two
Yes. I'm
I
sorry,
mean, players who've
but
never played
we
international
come
cricket.
beyond West Indies in this World Cup. So we are in 6th position in terms of the squad I like to rate. And behind us come Pakistan and rest of them. So for me, we are definitely not in top 4, not in top 5 because West Indies takes the 5th position for me. And we would be 6. And I'll show you why Virat Kohli should be opening the batting as well. I mean, if you look at this once again, Virat Kohli has really maximized the power play, and there is no reason why he should be coming at a number. We all know the weaknesses he's been going through in the recent past with spin. So why throw him there? If you picked him in your team, maximize him, right? There's a biggest issue with Indians. We do not know how to utilize our resources, and especially the Indian national team. And we've been so bad in managing our resources that we don't know when to use Virat Kohli and when to really unleash him. Like if Virat Kohli opens the batting with Rohit Sharma, that really opens up window for a spin basher like Shivam Dubey. That really opens up window for a Sanju Samson to come and maximize things. But no, I bet we're gonna go in Yashasvi, Rohit, Virat, Pant at 5 and Surya at 4, which
And
is
Surya at 5, yeah,
what's
Pant,
the
and then
difference
Hardik
between this
Pandya.
lineup and the last 3 World Cups which you have played? What's the difference? That's my whole point.
Yeah.
The difference is only Yashasvi Jaiswal and KL Rahul. So that doesn't
Both
make
of
any
whom
sense.
won't get to play, by the way.
Yeah,
Sorry, I think KL Rahul was there, right?
KL Rahul was
Yashasvi is,
there.
yeah, Yashasvi is the
KL
only one
Rahul.
who was not there. And
Yeah,
Yashasvi won't
Yashasvi
get
is
to
the
play
only
neither.
coach,
So,
in my opinion.
sorry,
So
Yashasvi
still
didn't get to play, yeah.
baffling that Pant is on the flight. No, absolutely there is. Okay, you can put him, Sorry, MJ says Mayank Yadav in place of Khalil, but Mayank Yadav is injured, bro. I mean, just got injured even today.
I think
So,
today he came to play, yeah.
but he got
I
injured
just
after
think
hitting
he's
the
too
wicket.
raw, guys. I
He's too
mean,
raw, and I think we are
yeah,
just, seeing him as a big thing. But I think he needs to manage his body. He is at least 1 year away from being a ready product. So don't rush him in. I mean, it's good to bring him in the environment and stuff, but not in a T20 World Cup. Let's be honest. I
yeah,
think there were Mawson Khan would have been a much better choice if you're looking at that. If you're looking at a Khalil Ahmed backup. So that's
yeah.
my point. But we kind of expect Arshdeep Singh to make because he's done well so far for even for Team India. But for me, I'd say I like to talk about the Virat Kohli factor. Why should Virat Kohli open the batting for you, Jared?
Well, yeah, I mean, the stats speak for themselves, Abel. If you look at the top five run getters in the IPL itself, Kohli is right there at the top of it. He's got an 81 average. He's got a strike rate of 150 plus. You don't hear that much about Kohli nowadays. I mean, you probably got Abhishek Sharma, who's been absolutely a beast in that part of the tournament for Sunrisers Hyderabad. He's striking at about 250, I think close to 225. But if you look at everyone else, I think Rohit Sharma and Kohli will be a very good pair. I know Rohit Sharma is really not scored big runs, but he's got an average of 42, 170 strike rate. If these two lads can play the power play, we can get off to a good start. And then we don't really need them post the power play as well, because that's the kind of batting lineup the squad still can provide if they maximize their, they really maximize the way they play. But if Kohli comes at number three, then you're really exposing him to the things that he probably doesn't want to do. Now, I believe more than his issue with spin able, his issue against the lighter ball, right? When the ball is new, when the ball is lacquer on it, I think Kohli is a much more difficult batter to ball to. But once the ball gets a little older and the shine is worn off, that's probably the seventh over or the eighth over. I believe it's easier
I
to
think
put
it's
Kohli
issue
on the back foot.
with spin again. I mean, it's again issue with spin. With pace again, he'll hit you down. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Virat Kohli is
No,
responding to those things, but I don't see him coming at three and doing the job. That doesn't really work in this generation of T20 cricket anymore.
exactly.
So if you really want,
Like you can't blame Kohli as well, right? He was one of your best T20 players in his heydays. I just feel
yeah,
there's been a tectonic shift in how the T20 cricket is played, and
yeah, it's
you
tectonic
need to
shift
take
from the
time
last
to get
World Cup
there.
and this World Cup. Especially in
Yeah,
2 years' time, we've seen a lot. So if you really have to use Virat Kohli, it cannot be a three because then he's doing an anchor's role. He's not
which
really
doesn't exist anymore.
maximizing. Then Virat Kohli also can be inconsistent because you're not going to even get those runs in power play. If Virat Kohli gets out to a flyer, for example, he's 40 of 20 in power play, then he can maximize it. Then he can score, 50 of the 25, and then from there hit on the spin. He can really score a 50 ball 100 from there on, which is good, 200 strike rate. But if you're not going to let Virat Kohli do that, which is him going to walk in at seventh or eighth over, if you have a good start, that's not going to really work. And he'd have to really swing the bat. Maybe he might not connect. He might just get out for his ball. That's not a good thing. I think that's really underutilizing Virat Kohli as well.
I agree, and just feel like with Rohit as well, you probably will get a good 20 or maybe 12, 13 deliveries. I think that's enough, right? If they can get us to, let's say, 40 odd in three and a half overs, maybe at least 40 odd in 4 overs, and that's a good enough start. And you've got a lot of batting power in this team, but just like you mentioned, I just don't believe with the reason why Yashasvi didn't make it in my squad is because I felt like if you've got a Sanju Samson in the team, you've got a Virat Kohli, you've got a Rohit Sharma, you've got three openers already. And then if anything goes wrong for you, you can always fly in someone like Yashasvi. This felt like Kohli and Rohit are my openers, and without them opening, this team will go for a toss. And that's exactly what's happening, right? You're gonna play Yashasvi at the end of the day. And if you're playing him, then you're going to take I think you're gonna lose 20, 30 runs easily. Abel, you're on mute. You're on mute.
I think India will be looking at the back end of the IPL as well to decide as to what is going to be ideal for India to open with. And if Sanju has a blistering IPL end, I think then definitely he gets the nod ahead of Pant. But then that also doesn't mean Sanju should be batting at number 5. That's not ideal as well.
That's what I'm worried as well. When I saw this team, I'm a bit worried about that as well. I'm worried both Pant and Sanju might end up either one of them getting fixed at five.
So I don't think it's really utilizing anybody there. It's neither utilizing Surya, it's neither utilizing maybe for Rohit Sharma and a Yashasvi Jaiswal. I
See,
think
I think
none of them are going to be utilized well. So which means you're absolutely going to the T20 World Cup as a disjointed team. And for me, I can't really make sense. For me, the only way this team can work is by looking at this lineup. Like literally, you have to play Shivam Dubey, you have to play Sanju Samson at 3, You have to play Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma up
I
top.
mean, see, Sanju
Otherwise,
Samson also
I
you
don't
will,
think
yeah.
I think Yashasvi can provide you a lot more. Yashasvi won't provide you a lot more as a Virat Kohli can with consistency.
Agree. And another thing that Virat Kohli really brings in Abel is if there is more difficult conditions with the new ball, right? You can expect Rohit and Virat to manage that maybe more than a Yashasvi. I believe this IPL we have seen a problem with Yashasvi that we do not see in the Test match series is that he's overdoing it, right? Every ball it just seems like he's attempting to clear his front leg and just strike through the line of the ball, not through the line of the ball, but probably across the line of the ball, and he's clearing the line a lot more, looking to play on the offside, and just doesn't feel like that's Yashasvi's style, right? Yashasvi's style is more elegant. He's a little bit more careful when it comes to timing the ball. Just do not see that here, but I also believe it's possible. That's the kind of role that he's been given. He's been told that you have an impact player coming after you, so you have to go hell for leather. But I just believe that's not the way he should be batting, and I don't know how much that's going to impact Indian players as well going into the IPL. Right? That impact player, what do you say? That cushion that they had that they won't be having in the T20 World Cup.
Uh, Jadeja and Hardik's finishing skills isn't talked about. That's what I'm really worried about that as well from an aspect as to how is that going to really go about, because what do you reckon of the finishing aspect of things? Because if Hardik isn't able to finish games in IPL, how is he going to do it in the World Cup?
Yeah, so just I mean, if you look at the highest run getters in this IPL, in the last 5 overs, 37th batter in the list is Hardik Pandya. He's got an average of 9 and a second of 131. Um, and I think I just find Jadeja. He's a little lower down the list. I think. Oh, he's really low down the list. Well, I suppose it's clear to say he's not scored a lot of runs. So I think in a list where you don't see Jadeja for a while, you'd have to say that that is another big factor. Now Sanju Samson, we spoke about him. Now he's got very good record in the last 5 overs as well, able. But and I am worried that they might go on and look at that and say that okay he can bat in those overs, but you have to understand that out of the 8 innings that he's played, 5 times he's only ended up in the last 5 overs, and even though he's got a very good average of 128 and a strike rate of 160 odd, you have to understand that's because he's been playing for a while. He's been set. He's ready
Yeah.
to, he's probably assumed, already understood the pace and bounce of the pitch. But if you don't give him that time and ask him to play like you have been, he's going to struggle.
I agree. I agree. I totally agree with you on that because I think that's where Indian team shouldn't be blind in just looking at stats and should also understand where to use whom. And as Teju rightly mentioned, finishing skills are very important. And Jadeja and Hardik doesn't give me any confidence at all. And for me, I also have a very sneaky feeling that India might just play with three spinners. I have a very very sneaky feeling about that, which is not a bad idea at all. Which I think is a very decent idea to go in with three spinners because if Chahal, Kuldeep, and Jadeja can fit in with two pacers now in Siraj and Bumrah, that's a decent enough team as well because Chahal also can bowl the death if you need. So that's a decent team. What do you reckon about that, Jaren?
Yeah, it's not a bad idea, but even we'll really have to see how the pitches are, right? Especially in Nassau County International Stadium, we don't know how the pitch is at all. There's no idea about how the pitch is going to behave. Secondly, I know CPL has shown that it's a very sluggish kind of a wicket that you see in the Caribbean, but you don't know how whether those are the kind of pitches that you're gonna get. I mean, a very good example probably you would see in the World Cup, right? Chennai was not as churning as it was. It is in the IPL. It was a little bit more easier to bat on. So I think ICC on general make a lot more easier wickets to bat on, and if they do that, it's not gonna be that easy to play three spinners, and it's also
I
not been
agree.
a good year or a couple of years for spinners as well. So
Yeah.
three spinners is gonna be interesting. Whether you're gonna bank on that and only play two seamers and then one Hardik Pandya, who's also really not performed well, even though today he did ball decently, but he's not really been on that level where he's gonna be a third seamer. And you have to also understand the amount of pressure that this lad is in right now. And I know that the captaincy is gonna be off his head, but he's gonna still have that pressure to perform and prove to the Indian fans, because right now he's only having to prove to the Mumbai fans. I mean, the rest of them don't mind him doing bad. Me for one doesn't mind him doing bad as long as he does well in the World Cup. But now that form will continue, I just feel like making him the third seamer might not be a good idea. The way the place he's right now in, the mindset is that he's in right now.
I agree. I don't know. To be very honest, that's not a safe option, anyways. But at the end of the day, if I'm just looking at the balance and if you have different combinations which you can try with this team, it's that. And other than that, I don't know what to really talk about this team as well, because if you just look at this team from an overview, the best possible lineup is what we brought to you on the screen, looking at definite opportunities and the best possible way in which you can get victories. But also at the same time, I feel really bad for Rinku Singh. Obviously, he's really performed well. And for him to miss out, it's really, really unfortunate. I thought Rinku could be a backup for Shivam Dubey in case Shivam Dubey is having a bad World Cup or sorts. But it is what it is. For me, Shivam Dubey was always going to be ahead of Rinku Singh in the starting 11, because he gives you a little bit of three dimensionalness at the end of the day, and at the same time, he is much more bona fide in terms of role clarity, because he can be literally someone. See, we don't need an off spinner, man. I mean, we've really made that mistake time and time again in the last two World Cup. Just because we needed an off spinner, we went to Ashwin and we got nothing in return. So let's not make the mistake. We have someone who's there to take the ball away. That's Kuldeep Yadav. So you definitely do not need an off spinner. So that particular thought of having an off spinner is no more relevant in T20 cricket as well. How many teams in IPL has an off spinner? Literally, very few. Most of them are mystery spinners or leg spinners. That's all. You don't literally have an off spinner. You don't need an off spinner to be successful at all. So even if you look at Ashwin, he just picked up 2 wickets in the entire IPL. He's an off spinner. What's the point of having an off spinner? So I think that theory should be behind us as of now. And for me, if India has to do well in the World Cup, India will have to play with their combinations well. Cannot mess up on combinations. Should be pinpoint
And
with
I
combinations.
think we've done that mistake, Abel. Every time we lose a World Cup, and we, always crib about how we've had a very good team, we've done really well. But I think, except for the World Cup final, that the 19th November one, that's the only day we probably got our combinations right. And it was just the fact that the ground and the day didn't work out for us, not our day. But aside from that, if you go back,
One day cricket was never my issue, Jaren. One day cricket we've
yeah.
always done well. It's always been T20
No,
cricket.
I think even if you look at 2019 World Cup, we got our combinations wrong. Like our team wasn't 11 wasn't wrong, but the batting order was wrong. The way we sent our batters up the order was wrong. If you look at 2021 and 2022 T20 World Cup, the team we picked wasn't the best 11 that we had at that point in time. We ignored some of the players that were in form, and even then we did not maximize our our resources that we had on the day. Like we made Hardik Pandya bat too low, or we got KL Rahul to open the batting when he was not concerned about strike rate. So we have done this mistake so many times, and other teams haven't done that. And if you look at any tournament, you'll see that you can have a bad team on paper, but if you get the combinations right, you get the right set of skills at the right time, can win you tournaments.
I agree. I agree. And that's a good point which is made by you. And that's about it from us in terms of discussing this team as well. I'd give it a 5 on 10, this team. How much would you rate this team?
Um, I think on paper you probably would say I think 7. And I'll tell you why 7 because I just believe there's potential here. And I think if things go right, like you said, right, if they still get the combination right, they can go ahead and challenge a few teams. But if you ask me if this team is gonna win, I don't really think so. I think there are better teams on paper, but maybe that's what we need. Maybe we
Yeah.
need a team that finally we don't trust.
I genuinely don't trust. It's T20 cricket at the end of the day. In T20 cricket, it's easy to predict than in other formats. And we predicted RCB's downfall way before RCB even started playing. That's as simple as that. And similarly, I
Downfall,
can,
I mean,
similarly,
is
I
it
can
really
predict that
downfall?
downfall way before it's even going to start to play. Just look at that England team and tell me this team even stands a chance. I'm so sorry, but we don't stand a
I was
chance.
looking at the England team and I
Just
was
look like
like,
a poverty team for all that matters.
yeah, I think this team will have done well in 2012 T20 World Cup.
Yeah, we are way back in 2007. Also, maybe we would have never won with this team. I'm sorry, we're that bad. We would even lose to Karnataka Ranji team. I'm so sorry. We're that bad.
Whoa.
So good night, guys. Have a good time. Have fun this T20 World Cup.
On that
Get
happy
ready-
note.
Yeah, on that happy note, get ready to see some reels made out of local train and stuff like that.
खड़ा हूँ आज भी वहीं.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
watch it. Enjoy yourself. We're gonna have a very awful T20 World Cup. I'm just telling you right now.
I
If
mean,
we
I
end up
wanted to
doing
see
well,
Sandipani's opinion on Rinku Singh missing out. I think that would have been a nice session.
well, for me as well, I'm not happy with the fact that Rinku Singh is missing out for
Yeah, I
yashasvi
agree.
Jaiswal. I totally don't think so because you need Rinkusing at some stage in this tournament. And it's a long tournament. And I don't think Yashasvi Jaiswal deserves to spoil the entire structure of the team. In order to give him that call, we're spoiling the entire team. So
And I
Indian
believe if you really
selectors,
wanted a left-handed opener, you should have gone for Abhishek Sharma.
exactly, if you really wanted that, because he offers you the ball as well. So I'm sorry, uh, you do not have the guts to take brave calls. Timid, same mistakes, nothing else. Good
Same
night,
deal,
guys.
result.